Hey guys, you're watching Yachts on Wheels. Subscribe to our channel and like this video. We've said it before and we'll say it again. Traveling in a motorhome is always an adventure. And even if you just have 2 or 3 days off, you can really get a feel for what it's like to be on the road in good company and the joy of visiting new places, each with their own interesting history and culinary traditions. You're guaranteed a great time and an unforgettable experience. You'd be surprised by how much fun you can have without even traveling to another time zone or climate. So let's go. This time we decided to show you what fascinating things you can see on the route from Moscow to Tver to Torzhok and then to Zavidovo. We'll hit the road on Friday afternoon in order to avoid the evening traffic jams. The Moscow-St. Petersburg toll road will help us significantly reduce travel time. The drive to Tver takes about 2.5 hours. And here we are in Tver. Our first stop is the legendary Afanasy Brewery on Kominterna Street. They've been waiting for us. We'll leave our motorhomes in the parking lot while we go on a tour. The history of brewing in Tver goes back to the second half of the 18th century. In 1876, the first Tver brewery was built by the Tvertsa River. The brewing plant was later reconstructed and named Tverskaya Bavaria. The plant brewed many beers that were popular in their day: Chornaya Barkhatnaya or Black Velvet, Dvaynoye Zolotoy or Double Golden, Bavarian, Stolovaya or Table Beer, and the specially matured varieties Pilsner and Lubitelskaya or Special. The brewery also produced fruit water, fruit drinks, and kvass. Since that time, a lot has happened, and now the Tverskoy holding Afanasy is one of few truly independent Russian companies. Afanasy preserves and continues the best traditions of Russian food production. Here, during your tour of the brewery, you'll not only see the production floor, but you'll also get to take a look into the huge cisterns where genuine live beer is made. They'll take you to their own barley plantations and give you a taste of the freshest, tastiest beers with fish and meat snacks that they make themselves. And for non-drinkers and young travelers, they also have a solid line of dairy products, yogurts, cheeses, and many other goodies. After the tasting session and tour with our guide, who we'll meet again the next day, we're all satisfied and a little tired, so we go back to the motorhomes. This trip happened to be during the November holidays, when many campgrounds in this region are already closed for the winter. Luckily, Hotel Tver kindly provided us a parking space with everything we needed. We were able to hook up to the electricity, and they gave us water and a place to dump our wastewater. Here, we spent 2 days on our own cooking fabulous kebabs without bothering anyone. By the way, at the Tver Hotel, you can also have breakfast, host events, book a tour, or visit their sauna complex. The second day was cloudy and rainy, but that doesn't bother us. We traveled around Tver on a sightseeing bus and listened to interesting stories about this ancient city. We started the day by visiting the Goat Museum. It turns out that the goat is not just an animal, it is a symbol of the city of Tver. This private museum dedicated to the goat was created in 2008 by the historian and heraldry specialist Lavronov. There are more than 5,500 figures, flags, and souvenirs dedicated to goats. The museum is fascinating, and the tours are both fun and funny. It's great for adults and children. The next stop is the Tver Life Museum. We visited the Russian Samovars exhibition, where we ended up at a real Tver tea party. It's here that we were introduced to Russian tea ceremonies. They told us how to drink tea, how to eat gingerbread, and how to host guests. The most interesting things are still to come. After a leisurely walk along the central Tver-Torzhok-Zavidovo street, since luckily the rain had stopped by that time, we'd worked up an appetite, so we set off on a new gastronomic journey. We're in for a fascinating story about the gastronomic traditions of Tver and the opportunity to taste different dishes prepared according to old local recipes. The food really was very tasty and unusual. The menu has a lot of fish and baked goods. Now that everybody was full and warmed by the hospitality of Tver, we headed back to our motorhomes so we could leave to the neighboring Torzhok the next morning. You can say what you'd like, but traveling to different cities in a motorhome is very convenient. You get up, eat, get behind the wheel, and you're on the way. The third day of our trip takes place in the ancient Russian city of Torzhok, one of the oldest cities in Russia. The weather's a little chilly, but again, that doesn't stop us. Our guide met us at the walls of the Torzhok Boris and Gleb monastery. We visited the old wooden Tikhvin church, which is a symbol of Torzhok, and then we hurried to the Kremlin, where Vladimir Monomakh's great-grandson, David Rostislavich, was already waiting for us. This part of the trip is especially interesting for our young caravanners. There was a special interactive program tailored just for them. The knyaz himself met us and told us about how fortresses were built in Rus. Along with his assistants, he taught us spear throwing and archery and how to shoot a crossbow and a catapult. He told us about siege technique and about armor and weapons of Russian soldiers. He let us hold a real sword in our hands and showed us a demonstration battle with swords and spears. The elder, elected in the Veche to manage the affairs of the town people, the posadnik, told us about who ruled the ancient city, how it was done, and how it differed from a simple settlement, how trade was conducted, and what crafts were practiced. The tour continues through the ancient streets of Torzhok. In the middle of the day, we have lunch with a main dish which is known to all of us thanks to the famous verses of Alexander Pushkin. Dine at Pozharsky in Torzhok, try fried cutlets, and set out with a light mood. To Pushkin, Torzhok was both a hospitable place to seek shelter along the road and to meet with friends who lived here. Well, the Pozharsky chicken cutlets here are still prepared according to the old recipe of Daria Pozharskaya, whose hotel was always very popular among those passing by. In 1844, the author Alexandra Ishimova wrote, "Being in Torzhok and not eating the Pozharsky cutlet seems impossible for many travelers." So we couldn't ignore this tradition. We ended off the day with a beautiful exhibition at the Torzhok Goldwork Embroidery Museum. This unique business is currently reviving its old traditions, and talented craftswomen delight us with their unique works. And at the end of the tour, there was a surprise. We have to try to grasp the intricacies of the gold embroidery business and embroider a personal souvenir for ourselves. After the masterclass, it turns out that our caravanners can not only drive, but they can also work with a needle and thread. Now we're back to Tver, and now the last day of our journey has come. We're slowly making our way home, but on the way, we can't forget to visit the very beautiful and very interesting Zavidovo temple complex. Although the complex is located near the road, many of even the most experienced travelers often pass by this amazing place. And it's too bad. A wonderful guide showed us the ancient temples of Zavidov. Truly unique relics have been preserved within those walls. Services in the temples didn't even stop during the Soviet times. We were also very pleased by the Gasudarov Road Museum there, with its most interesting exhibition, which was enjoyed by both young and old caravanners. So that's how we spent these very full and exciting 4 days. We hope you liked our story, and someday you'll follow in our footsteps. A motorhome will help you. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and write us a comment. We'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.